I want to take your attention back a second, okay? Breaking news. Kash Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates, rejoices, bells are ringing out. The team, Patel, Bongino, that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. The names are finally going to get released. It begins. They produce white binders. Phase 1 with the podcasters. This is not actually one of them, of course. I made this. Your name's on it, right? And the names are going to come out. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. Oh, no. No phase 2. Phase 2 binders never happen. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never have been. And yesterday, in an answer to Senator Kennedy, you said the FBI is not in possession of any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. So according to your testimony yesterday and in this committee, according to the evidence the FBI has, the number of names on the list are 0.
No,
zero.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking operation were charged in 2018.
Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate and here is that according to the evidence you have, the number of other names is 0.
That were charged based on credible evidence.
Well, who are the other names? Give me the other names that weren't charged.
We are not releasing the names of anyone because the Department of Justice never does that of anyone that didn't have any credible information to attack them.
Let me move forward. The president has, you've seen the picture of the woman's body with the writing and the president's signature. The president says that's not his, okay? The president says it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration say it's not his. Will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate for putting out a fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you be opening that investigation into that?
On what basis?
On what basis? They literally put out a fake document, according to the president, with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I look forward to that investigation.
What you just watched wasn't theater. It was a raw, consequential test of whether an institution meant to protect the public can resist being turned into a political tool. Congressman Jared Moskowitz pressed FBI Director Kash Patel about the so-called birthday book from Jeffrey Epstein's estate and whether names tied to that material are being hidden or scrubbed. And those questions cut to the core of transparency, victim protection, and institutional independence. Here's the short, factual backbone everyone should know before the shouting starts. Congress and Oversight investigators have obtained batches of Epstein-era documents, including a redacted birthday book assembled by Ghislaine Maxwell that contains sketches, messages, and notes. One page that's drawn attention reportedly includes a note linked to former President Trump, which he has denied. The release of those files, even in redacted form, is what set off the exchanges in the hearing room. So why is this such a combustible political moment? It's because Patel, who loudly called for the release of Epstein materials before becoming FBI director, now faces accusations from Democrats that, once in office, he has slowed or limited disclosures and even directed searches towards scrubbing references to powerful figures. At the same time, Patel has defended the Bureau's actions by pointing to legal constraints and past DOJ agreements that complicate wholesale public disclosures. Those two realities, a public plea for transparency followed by constraints once in power, are exactly what members of Congress were trying to reconcile on the record. Moskowitz's pointed, sometimes brutal line of questioning about whether a document containing the president's alleged signature was forged mattered because it forced a concrete answer. Patel agreed to open an investigation into whether any document was forged. That's consequential. If a purported signature is fake, that's a criminal matter that requires investigation. If it's genuine, it raises serious questions about why such material wasn't fully accessible earlier. The FBI's willingness to investigate a possible forgery is a small but important win for oversight. It creates a factual record rather than letting accusations fester.
I want to take your attention back.
There's an essential technical point most viewers don't see in 30-second clips. The difference between a name appearing in Epstein's papers and credible evidence that someone participated in trafficking. Director Patel told senators that, based on the Bureau's review, there is not currently credible information tying other named individuals to trafficking beyond Epstein himself, a distinction that matters legally and in
produce white
investigatively.
binders.
That
Phase
doesn't
one with
settle the
podcasters. This
politics,
is not
but it
actually one
does
of them, of
frame
course,
what
I made it
investigators can
up.
and
Your
cannot
name's on
say
it,
publicly without
right?
risking ongoing
And the
probes
names are
or
going to come out.
violating
Pam
legal
Bondi says the
protections.
list is on her desk.
None
Then
of
a
this
memo comes
absolves
out
the
all of a
need
sudden
for
says,
stronger
"There's no list."
transparency or independent
No
oversight.
phase two.
Democrats in the hearing
binders
argued
never
that
happened.
secrecy, selective
You said
redactions,
the
and
conspiracy
personnel
theories
moves at the
around
FBI,
Epstein just
including
aren't true. They never
firings and
happened.
reassignments of
And
career
yesterday,
agents, have
in an
eroded
answer to
public
Senator
trust
Kennedy, you
and
said
may have
the
the
FBI
effect
is
of
non-possession
insulating
of any
powerful
criminal
figures.
evidence that Epstein
Oversight
trafficked girls
tools
to
exist
anyone but himself.
precisely for moments
So
like this,
according to your
subpoenas,
testimony yesterday and
inspectors
in this
general,
committee,
and, when
according to the
necessary,
evidence the FBI
bipartisan
has,
measures to force
the number
disclosure
of
while
names on the list
safeguarding
are zero.
victims' privacy and
zero.
prosecutorial
The
integrity.
index has been released,
The public
and the number
needs
of
to keep
people
pressing for
involved in
those
that
tools to be
trafficking
used
operation were
responsibly.
charged,
What should
in
viewers take away
2008.
from
Other
this
than
beyond the
Epstein
drama?
and Ghislaine Maxwell,
First,
your
document
testimony in
dumps
the
and
Senate here
sensational
is that
headlines
according
are
to the
only the
evidence you
starting
have,
point. The real
number
work
of
is
other
rigorous,
names
evidence-based
is zero.
oversight
That
that
were
distinguishes
charged
forgery
based on
from
credible
fact
evidence.
and
Who are
rumor
the other
from
names?
provable
Give me the other
wrongdoing.
names that weren't charged.
Second, protecting
We are
victims'
not releasing the
identities
names
and
of
any
anyone
ongoing criminal
because the Department of
investigations
Justice never
is a
does
legitimate
that of
constraint
anyone
on
that
instant
didn't have any
transparency.
credible information.
But
Okay,
those
let me protect
protections
that. Let me move
can't be
forward.
used as cover for
The
political
president has,
shielding.
you've seen the picture
Third,
of the woman's body with the
institutional
writing and the
independence
president's signature.
matters.
The president
A
says that's not
bureau
his.
whose priorities
Okay?
shift from
President says it's
public
not his. The
safety to
Republican colleagues say
partisan
it's not his. The
loyalty will be
administration say
less
it's not
capable
his.
of
Will
preventing
you be
the
opening
next
up an
domestic
investigation
terrorism
into the
plot,
Epstein
mass
estate,
shooting,
putting
or
out a
trafficking
fake
ring?
document with the president's
All three
signature linking
concerns
him
must be
to
balanced,
the
and
world's
that
largest
balance is
pedophile
what
ring?
this
Will you be
hearing was
opening that
about.
investigation into that?
If you care
On what
about
basis?
accountability and
On what
public
basis?
safety,
They
here's
literally
how to
put out a
act.
fake document
Ask
according
your
to the president with a
representative
fake
to
signature, a
support
forgery
independent,
of the
bipartisan
presidents of the
oversight of
United
the
States
Epstein
signature.
files,
That's the
and
basis.
to back
Sure, I'll do
measures
it.
that allow
Okay, I
redacted
look forward to
public
that
release
investigation.
where possible,
Up.
while protecting victims. Demand that the Justice Department and the FBI publish clear timelines and factual summaries of what's being investigated, and urge Congress to empower the Inspector General to audit how politically sensitive files are handled. Finally, push for reforms that insulate career investigators from political litmus tests so the Bureau can retain the expertise necessary to keep communities safe.